Welcome to the Sales Lab.
You mentioned a moment ago that, when you're qualifying, one of the things you're asking is, do we even want to be part of this project? What would be a signal? I mean, think about our early career salespeople who I think always, I try not to say things like always, but I think it might be true in this case. I always, yes, always want to get in, I want everything, right? We're trying to get people to agree to it. And so what are the criteria that tell you, no, not this one?
Well, this is a real world example that I can give that happened last week. So a different company, one of our major pipeline operator companies that we work for. Let's take a step back from that. So with Michaels, we are a union contractor. Somewhere in the ether in different holding companies, and as these students will find out, there are a ton of holding companies in business. So what that means is different, shell companies will hold other units. We have a non-union, the Michaels family has a non-union group called Equix. Equix is kind of a startup pipeline company. What I mean by that is they were doing natural gas distribution. So building pipelines, but much smaller, much lower pressure. And we are trying to get them into the more transmission, so larger diameter, larger pressure, longer pipelines. When you think of distribution, think of your neighborhood streets. When you think of transmission, think of like I-10 or I-45 or something like that. So okay. Big highways, right? Well, this company that I'm talking about is a transmission company. So we are trying to fit a square peg through a round hole with a distribution contractor. Me being, 15 years ago, I would have said, hey, yeah, we can do that job. We sure can. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. But now, as I'm more, I guess, established and been doing this a little bit longer, and I'm talking with the director of project development at this company and says, hey, we have this opportunity. Can you guys help us out? And I said, okay, well, let's look at it. So the job's in the Gulf Coast, which is traditionally a non-union area. So I said, well, we could bid this, but the numbers we're going to give you from Michaels are probably going to be higher than what you're expecting. And we're probably not going to build that job for you anyways. We have this company called Equix. They're a non-union company. They're getting into pipeline. They have guys that can estimate this job for you. It's just an estimate, just a budgetary. We're not going to actually be building it for you. He goes, okay, great. So we turn the estimate in. He goes, oh, this is great. And I said, Matt, this probably isn't the right job for that company to do for you guys first. He goes, well, why is that? I said, because I haven't done it before. And we have a long-standing relationship between Michaels and your company. I would like to establish that with this company, but we need to start jobs that fit their skill set. He goes, okay, what's their skill set? So we talked about it. So he goes, well, I have a job that's, that's pretty similar to that. How about we give you a chance to bid that? Matt, that sounds great. So we start with something that we know we can do, build trust, build relationships, show them that, hey, and by the way, working for different companies, it's different all the time. They have different requirements, they have different specs, they have different, needs, different things that's important to them. And taking on a larger job first opens the door for a lot more trouble. If we can start small and understand what's important to their construction managers, what's important to their engineers, what's important to their environmental managers, and really kind of learn by doing 3, 4, 5 smaller jobs, well, hey, you set yourself up for a lot more long-term success getting into those bigger jobs. If you can do these smaller jobs well, you can kind of get more every single time. You'll find a way into the larger projects. And that way, no one gets burned. And you have a strong working relationship for hopefully a long time.